response to Hamas terrorism was entirely justified. It was targeted, restrained, and extraordinarily precise. So it was disappointing to see disproportionate blame heaped upon Israel, the victim, and disproportionate pressure put on Israel's democratic coalition government to spearhead the ceasefire with the aggressors. Israel's actions appeared to help restore some measure of deterrence and damaged Hamas' ability to wage terror. But we have every reason to expect the terrorist commanders will seek to rebuild their arsenal with assistance from their sponsors in Tehran. The Biden administration must not pursue Iran policies that make this process even easier. We should not lift terrorism and missile sanctions just to leap back into discussions over the flawed Obama-era nuclear deal. Already, this administration removed terrorism sanctions on Iran's Houthi proxies in Yemen, hoping to encourage negotiations. Instead, the Houthis have escalated their offensive, rejected diplomacy, and actually fired into Saudi Arabia. Likewise, giving Iran relief from sanctions will just yield more support for terrorists like Hezbollah and Hamas. Now, I am encouraged that the President has committed to refilling Israel's Iron Dome stockpiles. I hope his budget proposal coming this Friday will make room for increased military assistance to Israel and reflect the fact that America's interests are not served by cutting our own defense budget. Sadly, here in Congress, more and more Democrats are falling under the anti-Israel influence of the farthest left range. From the junior senator for Vermont, we have a resolution to block a routine sale of precision-guided munitions that would make it harder for Israel to avoid civilian casualties as it defends itself. From a congresswoman from New York, the accusation that Israel is an apartheid state. Historically, support for Israel has been bipartisan. During the last major flare-up with Hamas back in 2014, when hundreds of rockets were fired at Israel, the Senate passed a resolution reaffirming our support for Israel and making clear Hamas' responsibility for the violence, and we did it by unanimous consent. Back in 2019, after another rocket attack, the Democratic leader insisted, quote, "No government can allow its civilians to be subject to rocket attack." He said he stood, quote, "shoulder to shoulder with the people of Israel and doing what they must do to defend their homeland." That was true in 2019. Well, this month's attacks involved not hundreds, but literally thousands of rockets. And yet, instead of vocal support for Israel, 29 Senate Democrats pressured Israel's coalition government to stop defending itself. One of our colleagues who ran for president said the U.S. helping our ally means, quote, supplying weapons to kill children. Their base is energized. An open letter from hundreds of former Democratic Party and campaign staffers have urged President Biden to be harder on Israel. Apparently, a lot can change in just 2 years. Helping Israel defend itself against terrorists shouldn't be a divisive issue. The Senate should vote on Senator Sanders' resolution and reject it overwhelmingly. Now, on a related matter, the despicable age-old specter of anti-Semitism continues to rear its head even here in our country. Last week, authorities from New York to Los Angeles were investigating assaults on Jewish people. According to press reports, in New York City, one Jewish man was kicked, punched, and sprayed with chemicals by 5 or 6 men yelling anti-Semitic things. That happened, by the way, right in Times Square. A synagogue in Arizona was vandalized. So was another in Illinois. A Jewish family visiting South Florida had a car pull up next to them, and multiple occupants began screaming, "Free Palestine, die Jew." That's what he got for wearing his yarmulke in public. The head of the Anti-Defamation League says, quote, "We're tracking acts of harassment, vandalism, and violence, as well as a torrent of online abuse. It's happening all around the world." This garbage didn't begin a few weeks ago. It isn't a response to geopolitics. This hatred long predates the recent fighting between Israel and Hamas, and it hasn't gone anywhere since the ceasefire. This spring, in the shadow of this Capitol building, a U.S. Capitol police officer was killed in broad daylight by an unbalanced follower of the Nation of Islam, the extremist group led by anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. This trash should be the easiest thing in the world for every person in a leadership position to call out. But perhaps because Israel has become a strangely controversial issue on the far left, the condemnations do not seem to be flowing quite as easily and unequivocally as they should. Yesterday, a Democratic congressman from Minnesota tweeted this, quote, "I'll say the quiet part out loud. It's time for progressives to start condemning anti-Semitism and violent attacks on Jewish people with the same intention and vigor demonstrated in other areas of activism. The silence has been deafening." End quote. I couldn't say it better myself, Mr. President. So Senator Cotton and I are introducing new legislation to fight anti-Semitism. Our bill will support state and local law enforcement and ensure the bigoted thugs who are attacking Jewish Americans face the full force of our justice system. I'm proud to be co-sponsoring this legislation, though I regret that in the year of 2021, it remains, unfortunately, necessary. I hope every one of our colleagues will join Senator Cotton and myself. Now, on one final matter, the President's decision to retreat from Afghanistan is not clear-eyed or strategic. It's dangerous, wishful thinking. As discussions with the administration are making clear, this decision is not underpinned by a coherent plan to mitigate the geopolitical and humanitarian risk that our departure will create. When we're gone, after we leave, there's every reason to believe al-Qaeda will regroup in its historic safe haven. Giving up the high ground while the enemy is still on the battlefield isn't a strategic move. Neither is banking on conducting so-called over-the-horizon counterterrorism missions without presence on the ground. If we've learned anything in the fight against terrorists, it's the importance of reliable access and local partnerships. Give up the former, and we likely lose the latter. The military currently flies both reconnaissance and strike missions against terrorists from within Afghanistan. The country's not easy to get to. Its immediate neighbors are Iran, Pakistan, and Russian-influenced Central Asian nations. They aren't exactly likely to let us base significant counterterrorism units in their countries. So where will we be basing these forces? How will we maintain sorties from thousands of miles away? How many forces will be required to secure our embassy? If a pro-Taliban mob threatens to overrun it, what will we do to protect it? Where will a quick reaction force be based, if not in Afghanistan? Will it be quick if its response time goes from minutes to hours? We learned from Benghazi the so-called tyranny of distance. If the Taliban takes Kabul, will the Biden administration recognize it as the legitimate government of Afghanistan? Will we shutter our embassy and our aid programs? The reality is, they don't know. They can't say. There's no plan. It's not courageous to abandon our allies. That's a view many Democrats said they held when the last president considered withdrawing from Syria and Afghanistan. But now, as Afghans, especially women and girls, face even worse dangers, many Democrats have suddenly become much less vocal. The horrific reports of the Taliban beginning to reimpose their version of Sharia law are just a taste of the catastrophes facing our friends in Afghanistan who've borne the brunt of the fight. Human rights, women's rights, counterterrorism, refugee flows. As far as I can tell, the administration has no plan. But the world is watching, allies and adversaries. Democrats can dress up this decision in flowery language, but the world will see it for what it is: retreating from the fight, abandoning our partners. This is the president's decision. He chose precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Unbelievably, he even chose the anniversary of September the 11th as the deadline. As his team belatedly confront him with the risk and the consequences of this decision, I hope the president will think again and reconsider.